Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblyx here, coming at you today from the new frontier. How y'all doing today? Man, oh man, what a great day to be out on the frontier.
Shut up and sit down.
Well, it's almost Halloween. We've been talking about it for a while, and I've kind of decorated up the place a little bit. Put some little cobwebs around, some hay bales, little soul sand thrown in, some jack-o'-lanterns, even a fell pumpkin from Botania. Yeah. So I've just decorated up a little bit. Brought some skyberries back from the nether. What do these things do? A little bit evil, slow dive, jump boost, and slowness. Oh, we ain't hungry right now. We can't even eat them. I put in what I thought might kind of look like a scarecrow. Figured blue jeans and a white t-shirt, a red farmer's cap. I don't know. Did find a few dogs while we were out. I was out looking for chickens to replenish our chicken pen. Found a couple. Ooh, feathers and eggs. There we go. And while I was out, I found a couple dogs. Had some bones on me, so I grabbed 2 dogs, and we got one on either side of the door here. I've decorated up the inside too, you know, just trying to make it look a little homely here for the fall. Very nice, very nice. Now, remember our void ore miner over here? Remember we put the ore miner head on top of it, and we disconnected it from our storage system because our storage system set up to collect the resource miner drops. Well, yeah, it's done some work. And then we replaced this crate not long ago, and got a whole other crate full. So yeah, it's been doing some work. It's been doing a little work. Now y'all will have to bear with me. I'm a little bit under the weather today, so I might sound a little bit off or a little tired, something like that. Just bear with me a little bit. Got a little cold, no big deal. We'll survive. So last time we made this refined storage system, and we were talking about getting it out of here and cleaning it up a little bit, making it pretty. I've done a little bit of prep work down here. We had mentioned putting it on this back wall here. So got a whole bunch of crafters going and added some storage drawers and some compacting drawers. Got power ready to go. I did reset up our system here and switched it over from making silicon to making glass, so we can get a whole bunch of glass. I've pre-run some cables down here so that we can connect to all of our drawer controllers. So our refined storage system will be able to look inside all these drawers here. So we got that one too. So we need to make some external storage connectors for refined storage, so we can connect these up, and we need to look at start getting this guy moved down. Now the easiest way to do that is going to be to set up auto crafting. So I built us a pattern grid and some crafters. I already set up a few things to craft. So one of the first things you want to teach the auto crafter how to craft is patterns, and then of course more auto crafters. So machines making more of the same machine. Yeah, that's a thing. Sounds very Terminator, doesn't it? So let's teach it how to make these external storage connectors. So if we look up refined, and that's an importer. There we go, external storage. So that is pretty darn easy, and we should have most of that. Now what I need to check is, have we already taught it how to make construction and destruction cores and cables? I'm pretty sure we taught it cables. Chest as well, I guess. Let's see. So there they are. We have taught it how to make both of those. We have not taught it how to make a chest, so we do need to teach it how to make a chest. So let's say system chest, and we can use the OR dictionary to make chest. So there you go. Oh, it was hidden because the chests don't render right. There you go. I wonder if we can clear these in our inventory. No, we cannot. So what I tend to like to do is pull out the stack and put in the 1. Clear that. And see, it won't let you clear it, but I just leave it there for the next go around and drop these patterns back off in there. Get rid of those berries as well. And we'll go ahead and suit up just for giggles. So now that we know how to make that external, I've already made one by hand, but we're going to need about 6 of them. Let's just make 7. And good, we got all the parts we need. So we just give it a second and let it craft away. So I want these in place before we tear this down, because we're going to be tearing this down today and moving it downstairs. But as soon as we do, we're going to lose access to all of our items until we rebuild it. So I kind of want to make sure I have everything in place I can before we do that. So each time we have a drawer controller, remember a drawer controller just controls all the drawers it's connected to. We want to pop down one of these external storage devices, and I'm going to pop one on that as well, just so we can look inside at the name tags. And pop it on there, come around here and pop it there. And I am going to go ahead and up the priority on these guys, so that it tries to use the drawers first before consuming our disks. I generally like to set my drawers pretty darn high. There we go. Now I don't want to set this one high. I actually want to set him pretty low because I don't want the system throwing anything into these blank spaces. I only want name tags to go in there. But I don't want to define them as name tags. Well, let's see. We can turn off MBT. Fantastic. So we could say nothing but name tags go there. And don't compare damage. Don't compare MBT. So that should just give us name tags. So now we can go ahead and bump that priority up. That should work, but we'll keep an eyeball on it. Bump that guy up. And let's come over here and drop a couple more down. Bump the priority. And I always want to hit E instead of set. There we go. Alright, so I think we're ready to go ahead and start tearing stuff down. Dun dun dun, moment of truth. You know what, I better get some cable out just in case I run into a problem and need some cable. Alright. Take our discs out. Oh, we can see all the craftables, but notice there's no material in it to craft. So now I'm going to leave the crafters there for now. Well, because what's going to happen is all these patterns are going to fill our inventory. That's okay. We have enough space. So, and I'm going to go ahead and take that cube, I think, with us. And I think we will put him in line right here. There we go. So if we need this to be orange, we'll have to get a wrench. Alright, controller. Boom. Disk drive. And let's get our disk back in. I want the one that has all the stuff on it first. There we go. Disks in place. Let's get our crafting grid right there. And our pattern grid right there. And then our 3 solderers. Well, I want to stick them there, but I need something behind them. Now we should be able to access our inventory again. There we go. And sweet, they came online. We're going to go and pop that out so we can hop through here real quick. Nice. Now we do need to get some importers going underneath these guys. I'll show you why here in a minute, but it's part of how you have to craft with these things. Sweet. Get those in there. Now we can start spreading out our recipes a little bit. I like to spread them out, especially similar mods should be spread out across different crafters. For an importer, and that's a cable, and that's a plank. So chest and external storage I think we already have. External storage and chest, yeah. So I did have a couple doubled up already. Ah, and that's our pattern to make patterns. There we go. Alrighty. So now the craftables should show up again. There we go. They're showing up. Fantastic. Awesome. Now I think I want to... Well, let me show you how to set up auto crafting with these machines. So first things first, we need to get these blocks down. Notice we're seeing all the stuff in the drawers. I don't have 2,000 zombie heads, skeleton heads, and creeper heads, on our drive. It's actually reading from these drawers now because we connected that storage controller. Now it is gonna try to shove things in these drawers. We need to go through and lock them so that it can't do that. Things we don't want in the drawers, it's going to try to shove them in anyway. So we need to be careful about what we stick in the system until we get a key going. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. We can keep a tighter rein on what's going in there. And we have all that. Oh, we're missing gold. I've got that upstairs. So we'll be moving all this down. This is what I have the compacting drawers for, this metal here. It works very well in compacting drawers. And when you need a recipe that, say, calls for nuggets, it will auto take care of that for you, which is super nice. Alright, let's get these locked up. What this is doing, see, it's putting that little padlock there. It's telling the system, don't accept anything in these drawers except for the item that's currently there. If there's nothing there, don't accept anything at all. So it helps you to keep better control on what's inside the drawers. So let me just run through. I'm going to go ahead and lock everything. So give me a minute and I'll get back with you. There we go. Every single drawer is key locked. I like to keep that key on me because you never know when you need it. Now if I throw these items in, oops, looks like we may have lost power. Oh, yeah, I need to get that configured. So we're going to need to get a wrench going here. Oh, don't I already have one? Ah. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Blue is in, orange is out. Fantastic. Oops. Tried to jump through the one that didn't have the big enough hole. Goofy, goofy, goofy. Using 63 RF, that's not too bad. Okay. Now, we need to, what? We've got our drawers set. We can clear our inventory now. And this stuff will go into the right place. It's not filling up the drawers. It's going where it should go. So let me go ahead and get our metal moved down here. And I'll show you that. So what I like to do is grab all from one type. And start out with, of course, the most popular. It's going to be iron. So we'll put that right there. And see how it does the nuggets, the ingots, and the blocks, even though I just put blocks in. So now if I put the ingots in, it'll add to those, and the nuggets, and it'll add to those. There we go. So now when I come in here and search iron, we can see the nuggets, blocks, and ingots, all of them, which is super, super handy. So let's get the gold now. And probably copper next, I guess. And maybe nickel. So let me get these in here and I'll get back with you. Alright, got all our metals moved in. So now let's move on. I want to get these solderers set up for automatic crafting, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to go back into refined storage, and we need to make one of these, a processing pattern encoder. Now this guy, we have all the bits and bobs. Nope, we need to make bits and bobs. The heck, I just want a flipping crafting bench. Are you kidding me? I don't know why this has to be so complicated. Anyway, what this guy lets us do is make patterns that are for machines. So this guy makes patterns for, say, a crafting table. This guy, he'll make patterns that can be used for machines. Now, he does not require power to work. You can set him anywhere in the world and he will work just fine. So we're going to set him right there for now. He does, however, need patterns. And boom. Blank patterns up there, very similar to this guy. Now notice he's got 2 crafting grids instead of 1. So you put whatever you want to make here, whatever it becomes here. So in the case of, say, a printed basic processor, we know it is an iron ingot. So if I look up iron, and I'm going to get 2 out because I'm going to run 1 through to get the printed basic processor, because I'm going to need that for this guy. So if I put in iron, I can get out a printed basic processor, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. If it were 1 to 2, I'd need to put 2 in here so that it knew that. So now I can make that pattern, and it says 1 iron gives you 1 printed basic processor. Now do not put that into your regular crafting grids, because you need a specific machine to do that work. And that machine is a solderer. So let's get our sand back. And what we're gonna do is set it just like that. Oops. Can't jump. There we go. Get our what the heck are these things called? Crafters. Man, brain went blank. Get those installed and ready to go. I'm going to rip this guy out just so I can put him in place. Now notice I've got the blue dot pointing toward the machine. That's important. So that will get all the materials into the machine to make the part. Now what we got to do is get the materials out of the machine after the part has been made. So for that we need importers. And we're going to put them underneath down there. So actually let me make sure we have a way to get down there. Yep, boom, boom, boom. So let's make some importers. I already set up a pattern for it. So we need 3. We have all the materials we need, so let's craft them. Boom, boom, boom. And let's put that pattern back in there. And get our importers here. And you do want to make sure they connect up to a line in order to work. Now you can define specific things about them, like when to import and all that. We don't necessarily need all that here. Now, normally you would need to cable these guys, these crafters, but because they're physically touching other refined storage devices, we won't need to. So now if I come in here and I say oh, I never put the pattern in, did I? Got to put a pattern in to make it. There we go. Put that in the crafter. Whatever crafter has it pointing in the machine, that's where that pattern needs to go. So now we can make printed basic processors. So if I said 5 and say go, it's going to say I need 5 iron. It's going to start. And you see it dump 5 iron in here, and it's cooking them up. And that importer is sucking them out. So they are going into our refined storage system. Boom. Now this doesn't have to be a refined storage machine to work. This could be a mechanism machine or a thermal expansion machine or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of this system. It can work with other mods in their machines. I'm just showing you on a refined storage machine. But this is how you set it up. So now let's get moved on to fluids. Remember we talked about one of the reasons I wanted to stick with refined storage was so we can take a look at our fluids here. Get all those picked up, and I haven't made a real spot for them yet. We will, I don't know, find some place for them down the road, but for the time being, I think we'll just stack them up against the wall over here. Maybe here. Yeah, maybe right here. Ah, stupid Kendall Knights. Really? Good grief. Alright. So we're going to do our XP. What is that? Glowstone, creosote. And that one looks empty, but it actually has blood in it that we got out of our Tinkerer's Smeltery. So now we need to make some more external storage. So we need to make 5 more external storage. Nope, don't have any on me. Oh, I got 2 here, so we need 3 more. Got everything? Yep. Tell it to go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Done. And we will plop those guys on there. Now we do need to connect them to a cable. So we'll run this cable right there. So I need to get 2 bits of cable. And plop those guys down. Now we need to set all of these to fluid mode. See, they're set to item right now. We need to set them to fluid. Notice it recognizes the drum instantly once you tell it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. There we go. Now, they're all in our system. Our system can see them, but we can't see them through this grid. This grid is for items. If we want to see them, we're going to need this guy, the fluid grid. So for that, we're going to need a regular grid. And you know what? Let's make a pattern. So I end up making 2 dadgum many of these things. So notice we just cleared out that old pattern now with a new pattern. See how that worked? So let's get our blank patterns back in there. Oh, we got another old one we can fill up. Something else. Fantastic. Now, because this is being made in a crafting grid, we'll throw that into the regular old crafters, not the ones on the machines. And if we look at grid, actually, you know what? Let's go through the whole process, because to make this, we want to put it an advanced processor into with a bucket. So let's teach it how to make a bucket. It will not know that yet. Oops, that was actually making a bucket. We got to go into our crafting grid here. This is how to make a bucket. So now the system knows, okay, this is what's necessary to make a bucket. Now we can tell it, we need to get the bits and bobs to make this. So we'll need a bucket, an advanced processor, and a grid. Bucket. And advanced processor. And a grid. Now if we put all those in here, while that's happening, I want to make another set so we can teach our machine how to make it. So there we go. Bucket. Advanced processor. And oops. Grid. So now we'll come over to this guy and say if we put in a bucket, an advanced processor and a grid, you will get a fluid grid. Now our machine knows how to make a fluid grid. We're going to drop that into this machine because it does have to be made in a solderer. So if we drop all those in there and say fluid grid craft, we don't need to, but we're just going to do it so you can see it. It's going to it's going to craft all the stuff needed, pop them in the solderer, and crank it out. So now if I pop this one we made earlier on our system, it'll light up blue, and bingo, bango, bongo, there's all our fluids. Nice. Now this is registering in buckets, that's why you can see blood, but it says 0, because we only have 60 millibuckets, so we're not even close to a bucket yet. A bucket has 1,000. I do want to bump the priority up on these, of course, just like we did with our items. So if we add anything into the system, it'll auto go here first if it can. And down the road we will have to make some fluid storage disks to add to our system. There we go. So now anywhere in the world we need to move these fluids, as long as we got our refined storage grid, we can. And yes, the refined storage grid can be wireless. You can run it over distance. So where are those guys? There they are. Network transmitter, network receiver. Add these together with a network card, which is right there, and you can set up your refined storage system anywhere in the world at a cost of RF. The cost of this RF right here will go up significantly the further away you go with your refined storage system. But you can carry it everywhere in the world if you make enough power. So there we go. We're getting a pretty good head start on our refined storage system. Now let's get these. Didn't I have 2 more crafters laying around somewhere to fill in those holes? Did I leave them upstairs maybe? I did not. Man, we've cleaned out in here, haven't we? This is looking pretty good. Very nice. We will need to get a grid up there. I don't want to have to be running all the way down here each time I need to craft something. So let's just make 2 more of those real quick. We do have access through that door over there to the back if we need it. But I am going to go ahead and plug up this. There we go. And we've got one more spot here which I'd plan on sticking another disk drive. So let's go ahead and make that sucker real quick. Do we have the parts? Not everything we need. Need one of these. One of those. And bam. Sweet. Now that's starting to be a good looking system. Now you can mix item storage disks and fluid disks. I could throw some fluid disks down here if I wanted to. Or I could separate them over here. I tend to like to separate them over there. I do like to set the priority on my drawers to go in a certain order. I wanted to fill this set of drawers before this set of drawers. So I set him to a priority of 10 and him I will set to a priority of 9. So that it'll go here first and then here second. If I add more drawers later, if I like replace these drawers, these actually won't be used because they're not connected to a controller or to our RS system. They're just kind of there for looks. But if I replace those with disk drives, then we can set the priority on those. Same with these drawers over here. They're also not connected. They're just kind of there for aesthetics. But you can see, I didn't make a way through this way, but we can definitely get around this way. So we should now be able to go find all this purple, slimy, dirt, funky colors if we want to on our system. I wonder, let's see. I want to be careful here, but Ooh, big hole. Big hole. Okay, we'll dig that out later. Just going to dig a path all the way around back there. We should be able now to see all that slimy dirt. Boom, there it is. What a beautiful thing. So anything in this room, in any of our drawers, up to and including the name tags. We didn't look for name tags, did we? Well, they're not going to be listed as name tag. They're going to be listed as, say, Zombie King. Boom, there it is. Zombie King, Zombie King. Or Dr. Zomboss and Zombie King. So, yep, even our name tags. Everything in this room, with one exception, this chest right there, can be seen by our refined storage system. How nice is that? And we have quite a bit more expansion that we can do if we start running into disk issues. So awesome. Alright folks, that's all the time I got for today, but I sure do appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me as always. And until next time, get out there and make some noise. See ya!